You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 26th Michigan City Common Council special meeting. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, Ms. Nyla on the roll call.
Mr. Dabney?
Present.
Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Present.
Mr. Mack? Oh, he's not here. Oh, Ms. Deitch?
Here.
Mr. Don Przybylski?
Here.
Mr. Paul Przybylski?
Present.
Mr. Simmons?
Here.
Ms. Jagus? And Ms. Tillman?
Present.
We have 7 present and 2 absent.
I think someone is on Zoom. Let's make sure who we have. Nobody? Okay, maybe not. All right. I knew she said that she might join, so she may join a little late. We did exchange the text message earlier. All right, so I'm gonna read the call for the special meeting. This was to the city clerk. Please issue a call for special hybrid Zoom meeting of the Common Council of the City of Michigan City, Indiana, to be held at 5:30 p.m. Monday, September 26, 2022, in the council chambers of City Hall building located at 100 East Michigan Boulevard, Michigan City, Indiana. Said meeting is to be held to hear second and possibly third reading of repealing and replacing Article 8 in Chapter 46 in the Michigan City Municipal Code, commonly known as the floodplains. And I signed this and issued the call, and there was an email notification sent out to the council members, and the notice came to hand on September 21st. And just wanted to make sure I stated that for the record, that the call for the special meeting was presented. So, Ms. Nyla, the only ordinance and item on our agenda for this evening, can you read it by title only?
An ordinance on second reading by title only, repealing and replacing Article 8 in Chapter 46 in the Main City Municipal Code, commonly known as the floodplains. And this is introduced by Ms. Deitch.
And this was presented to us at the last council meeting, and I know that City Planner Skylar York also answered any questions. And this is a formality of something that we have to do. And there is a deadline of September 29th, and that's why the special meeting was called. And the goal really truly is to make sure that we don't have any breaks in service for our residents who reside in the floodplain, because this impacts their insurance. So any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? All right, comments from the council. Yes, Councilman Fitzpatrick.
I wanted to move that we suspend the rules and have third reading tonight also.
Support.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick and a second by Councilwoman Tracy Tillman. Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Mr. Paul Przybylski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Ms. Deitch?
Aye.
And Mr. Don Przybylski.
Aye.
We have 7 in favor and no one opposed.
Before we move to third reading, any additional comments from the council? Any additional comments? All right. Ms. Nyla, we'll move this to third reading. Ms. Nyla, read the ordinance by title only.
An ordinance on third reading by title only, repealing and replacing Article 8 in Chapter 46 of the Michigan City Municipal Code, commonly known as the floodplains, and this is introduced by Ms. Deitch.
All right. Are there any comments on third reading from the public? Any comments from the public? I see, please note that Councilwoman Delia Jigas is online and Councilman Mack are online as well. Any comments from the public? Any comments from the council?
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion by Councilman Don Przybylski and a second by Councilman Paul Przybylski. Ms. Nyla on the vote. Did you have a comment?
I wanted to ask Skylar to
Yes.
give us a brief
commentary on how we got here and how this is affecting people.
Thank you. I don't mind that.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. Sorry. Good afternoon, Council. I'm Skylar York. I'm the Director of Planning for the city. And sorry, it's been a very long day. I still have more to come. So the way we got here today, our last floodplains were updated in 2013. The first floodplains were done in 1981. So in 81, 2013. So we're at a time when we need to update our floodplain maps. Over the years that I've been working here at the city, we have remapped. Years ago, Strable Pond got remapped. Paul, you asked me about that today. That has been corrected and is reflected in our maps as they stand right now. So from 2013, doesn't show a floodplain there anymore. The one that I worked on was Cheney Run, and Cheney Run was revised in 2017, and it wouldn't show into a map until the new map, which is this year's map, that's the one that we're adopting tonight. And I made sure that it's corrected and reflective of what we modeled. At that time, Cheney Run had no base floodplain elevations. So someone couldn't file a LOMR or a LOM C or a LOM F, which are different types of ways to revise your map. They weren't able to do that because there wasn't a base flood elevation. For what reason? I have no idea why they didn't establish base flood elevations. I don't know why they didn't do that. Right now we have a base flood elevation of 621 and 618. So that gives the people that were left in that we couldn't get out at the time, it gives them a base flood elevation so that they can go to a engineer or surveyor, whomever, they have something to actually base off of and go forward. So they theoretically, certain people, if they're hopefully above that 621 or that 618, so say they're sitting at like 630 or something like that, or 628, they could theoretically get out of that floodplain. But it's really on an individual lot that they would have to have surveyed and evaluated. Still, not everyone's going to get out of it if they're below that 618 or that 621. So that's one thing we corrected with this map. You'll see that revised on the new maps. You'll see it in the maps. But the main point of this, they didn't revise all the panels. They only revised certain things in those maps. What you're seeing is Cheney Run's revised, but also all the new VE zones that are basically coastal flood areas. That's really the bulk of what this floodplain that you're adopting tonight is. With the storms over the years, we've been getting more 25-foot surges, and they've been modeling that since 2013. And that's why you're seeing these flood zones that we've never had before. But the water elevation and the consistency of storms is basically really forcing FEMA's hand to put in these floodplains that we've never had. We've only seen them really around the coastal, true coastal, meaning the ocean coast. But honestly, we live with this big chunk of water out here that basically functions like an ocean. So hence why we're here tonight to adopt these new VE zones that are the flood zones. So that's kind of how we got here tonight. There was some miscommunication how we got here so quickly. There was some miscommunication between FEMA, DNR, myself. They communicated basically with our previous mayor and our previous planner. We got a letter in the mail. I got a hard letter, and that's kind of when it first came into my hands. But that letter was received on August 22nd of this year. And as you all know, we know how council works, three readings. And so that's why we're here so quickly. They've basically given us an ultimatum to say we have to have it done by the 29th, because that's when the panels go into place. And there's a rigorous notification process that FEMA is already in the midst of actually conducting right now. So that's kind of how we got. Sorry, that was a lot of words to get us to where we're at right now.
No, we appreciate it. I think it's good for the public to hear that. All right, so we have a motion by Councilman Don Privilinski and a second by Councilman Paul Privilinski. Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Ms. Jagus?
Well, and I'll state that, oh, there they go. They have to be, if they would like to vote, they have to be seen. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Ms. Jagus?
Aye.
Mr. Paul Privilinski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman? Aye. Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Mr. Mack,
Aye.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
and Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you so much. The ordinance passes and I call for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Or.
We have a motion, Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick, supported by Councilman Gene Simmons and the rest of us. Adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you all.